The crystal chandelier shimmered above a room filled with applause until one sentence shattered every smiling face. "I'm having your baby," the elegant fiancée cried as she rushed toward the billionaire in front of hundreds of stunned guests. Before anyone could celebrate, a quiet maid's tiny toddler looked up with innocent eyes and asked one heartbreaking question that froze the entire ballroom. In that single moment, hidden lies, forgotten promises, and a family's future began to unravel in broad daylight. If you believe in kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share this story with someone you love, and subscribe to our channel to become part of our growing family. Rowan Ashcroft had built one of the largest construction companies in the country, yet everyone who truly knew him admired him less for his fortune than for his calm heart. After losing both parents while still in college, he spent years believing that success would eventually fill the emptiness inside him. It never did. At 38, he finally believed he had found happiness with his glamorous fiancée, Celeste Whitmore. Beautiful, intelligent, and admired by high society, Celeste seemed to fit perfectly into the luxurious world surrounding Rowan's estate. Preparations for their wedding had already begun, and reporters described them as the perfect couple. Working quietly inside the mansion was a young housemaid named Clara Bennett. Life had never been generous to Clara. She was raising her 3-year-old son, Oliver, completely alone after the child's father disappeared before Oliver was born. Every morning she arrived early, cleaned the enormous home with care, and brought Oliver only when daycare unexpectedly closed. Rowan had always treated Clara with respect, insisting that every employee deserved dignity. He often smiled at little Oliver, who wandered around the gardens collecting colorful leaves and flowers while his mother worked. On a bright afternoon, Rowan hosted an engagement celebration in the mansion's grand ballroom. Business leaders, politicians, and friends filled the room with laughter. Cameras flashed as Celeste stepped onto the stage beside Rowan. With dramatic tears in her eyes, she suddenly announced that she was expecting his child. The guests erupted into applause. Rowan stood speechless, surprised because they had never discussed any pregnancy, yet the excitement around them left little room for questions. At that exact moment, Clara quietly entered carrying a tray of sparkling water while Oliver held her hand. The little boy stared at Rowan for several seconds before tugging gently on his mother's sleeve. In the innocent voice only a toddler could possess, he looked toward Rowan and asked why the nice man never came to read him stories anymore like he used to at the park. Silence swept across the ballroom. Rowan stared in complete confusion. Celeste's smile disappeared instantly. The guests exchanged puzzled looks as Clara nearly dropped the tray in shock. Her face turned pale because she knew Rowan had never met Oliver anywhere except the mansion grounds. Before she could explain, Oliver continued speaking with childlike honesty, asking whether Rowan still remembered giving him the wooden airplane and promising that good fathers always keep their promises. The room filled with whispers. Rowan slowly knelt to Oliver's height. He recognized the small wooden airplane immediately. Nearly 2 years earlier, he had volunteered anonymously at a neighborhood family charity event where children without stable homes gathered every weekend. He often read books there, played games, and handed out handcrafted wooden toys. He suddenly remembered Clara. Back then she had been pregnant, quietly volunteering in the kitchen before disappearing from the program after finding employment. Oliver had mistaken those afternoons at the charity center for a promise made directly to him. The misunderstanding touched Rowan deeply, but Celeste saw only danger. She immediately accused Clara of inventing stories to embarrass her in front of everyone. Clara fought back tears as she explained that Oliver simply remembered a kind stranger from long ago. She apologized repeatedly, trying to leave the ballroom, but Rowan gently asked her to stay. Something about the little boy's innocent question had awakened memories Rowan himself had forgotten. Instead of continuing the celebration, Rowan quietly invited everyone into the garden for lunch while he spoke privately with Clara. Sitting beneath blooming cherry trees in the afternoon sunshine, Clara finally shared her story. She explained how she had escaped an abusive relationship during pregnancy, worked multiple jobs to survive, and never expected kindness from wealthy people. The volunteer who once played with children every Saturday had unknowingly restored her faith that decent people still existed. She never knew his real name until she accepted work inside his mansion months later. Rowan listened with quiet emotion. Meanwhile, Celeste watched from a distance. Her frustration slowly transformed into panic because Rowan's attention had shifted completely away from the engagement announcement. She feared losing the luxurious future she had carefully planned. Over the following days, Rowan visited the charity center where he had once volunteered. The director warmly welcomed him and confirmed Clara's story. Staff members described how she had worked tirelessly while pregnant, refusing special treatment despite difficult circumstances. They also remembered how little Oliver adored the volunteer who built toy airplanes for every child. The discovery changed Rowan. He realized genuine love often appeared without wealth, status, or recognition. As wedding preparations continued, more troubling truths surfaced. Rowan's accountant uncovered unusual financial transfers authorized by Celeste over several months. Large sums intended for children's hospitals had quietly been redirected into shell companies connected to luxury investments. When confronted, Celeste dismissed the concerns as harmless accounting adjustments. But Rowan kept investigating. Within days he discovered an even darker secret. Celeste had fabricated the pregnancy announcement to pressure him into rushing the wedding before financial audits exposed her actions. Medical documents she presented had been digitally altered. The revelation shattered him. Not because the engagement ended, but because trust had once again slipped through his hands. Rowan ended the engagement peacefully but firmly, refusing revenge. He cooperated fully with investigators while ensuring every stolen charitable dollar was recovered and returned to its intended causes. Weeks later, life inside the mansion became surprisingly quieter. Clara continued working, though Rowan encouraged her to pursue evening business classes paid entirely through the company's employee education program. She initially resisted, believing opportunities like that belonged to people with easier lives. Rowan reminded her that courage deserved investment more than comfort ever did. Oliver's cheerful laughter slowly filled empty hallways once occupied by extravagant parties. Every afternoon, Rowan spent a few minutes reading picture books with him in the mansion's sunlit library. The promise Oliver thought had been forgotten became real, not because Rowan was replacing the boy's father, but because every child deserves dependable adults who keep showing up. Months passed. Clara completed her first business certification with top grades. Rowan promoted her into the company's community outreach department, where her first-hand understanding of struggling families transformed several charitable programs. Instead of simply donating money, the company began funding childcare, job training, and emergency housing for single parents. One sunny afternoon, the charity center hosted its annual family festival. Children laughed across the playground while volunteers served lunch. The director invited Rowan to speak about leadership. Instead of discussing business success, Rowan spoke about one unexpected question from a little boy that changed his understanding of responsibility forever. Wealth, he explained, could build buildings, but compassion built lives. The greatest investment anyone could make was believing in another human being before the rest of the world noticed their worth. Standing nearby, Clara wiped away quiet tears. Oliver proudly held his favorite wooden airplane, now slightly worn after years of adventures. Before everyone left, Rowan announced that the company's newest Family Assistance Foundation would carry a simple motto inspired by that unforgettable afternoon: "Every promise matters." The crowd applauded, but Rowan looked only toward Clara and Oliver, grateful that truth had interrupted a celebration built on lies. Before we finish this story, we'd love to hear from you. What do you think was the most powerful lesson in this journey? Share your thoughts in the comments because your words may encourage someone facing difficult choices today. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. Life has a remarkable way of revealing truth through the purest voices. While adults often hide behind appearances, pride, or ambition, a child's innocent question can expose deception and remind us what truly matters. Rowan discovered that genuine family is built not through wealth or grand announcements but through honesty, compassion, and promises faithfully kept. And sometimes, the smallest voice in the room becomes the one that changes every heart forever.